This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello everyone and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by this guy to my left, professional poker player and all-around good guy, Robert Williamson III. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me on. I'll tell you what, I've been a big fan of the HPT for a long time. It's going to be great to just dive into the action, and I get to see everybody's hole card.
Absolutely. That's the best part about being right here in the booth. This week, we are in Sin City, a place you know and love, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the historic Stratosphere Casino Hotel Tower. First place tonight's going to go home with just over $150,000. What's the first thing you buy when you take home something like $150,000?
Go out for a nice meal, but a nice car after that. Usually I try to buy one of those too, and with $150 you can buy a couple,
yeah,
two or three.
Buy several cars and maybe a garage to go along with it. So it's been an awesome week out here at the Stratosphere, a prize pool of just under $640,000. We had 440 players in the event, and like I said, top prize will go home with just over $150,000. We've seen a lot of regulars, a lot of big name pros because we are in Las Vegas, but I got to single out one person that's left at this table, a November Niner from 2014, Dan Sindelar.
He's on a true run, and in poker we call that a heater. I mean, how much money can you win in one time period? He won 1.2, now he's going after 150 more, and the coveted HPT champion title.
But not so fast, my friend. 8 players remain that they want to be the title holder. They want to go home with the cash. So let's go down to the felt, meet the players, and take a look at the chip counts and what we're playing for here on the HPT. A total prize pool this week in Vegas of just under $640,000. The min cash today is just over $14,000, but Robert, up top, truly life-changing money, just over $150,000.
A lot of places you can pay for a house that way.
Yeah.
Paul McCaffrey in the chip lead, $3.2 million. Joey Brown right behind. Peter Nye in third. John Bunch, Ryan Tosick rounding it out the top 5.
It's James Larson, Robert Williamson III, coming to you from the Stratosphere Casino Hotel and Tower right here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada.
Wait, you're saying? Really?
Action is folded around to the 9 seat of Joey Brown. He looks down at King 8. He's going to fold over to the 1 seat of John Bunch. He gets out of the way. Now we go to the button.
Well, those hands get a little bigger when they're on the button, I'll tell you what.
And we've got a raise by Ben. He's going to go all in with Jack 9.
Wow. He got a cooler. That's what this is called. When you run into aces, sometimes, especially on the button, everybody's folded around to you. This tends to happen. This posturing you're seeing from Ryan LaPlante here, it's not to, he's obviously going to call, but he wants to bring in the big blind too.
Absolutely. And now it's a fold, so we're going to go to heads up, and Ben realizes he ran himself right into a buzzsaw on our first hand of the night. He's all in. His Jack 9 going up against Ryan LaPlante's pocket aces, the friendly handshake, which we always see in an all-in. Well, not always, but we like to see that.
That's good sportsmanship. Of course we want to see that.
Absolutely. Ben's thinking, what did I get myself into? And we go to the flop. It's 10-5-4 rainbow.
Ben's going to need a lot of help here. He's going to have to hit runner. He might not even be live on the turn.
Turn card is the 5 of spades, and that is going to do it. Ryan LaPlante here on our first hand of the night is going to eliminate a player. Ben going out in 9th place, but a nice little payday, just over $14,000. All right, the action continues here from the Stratosphere Casino Hotel and Tower right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Dan's going to fold over to Ryan Tosick. I like Ryan's hat. He's going to fold.
Well, you only like the Ryan's hat because if you've ever been there late at night, that draze could really happen in Vegas.
And now it is folded over to that man, John Bunch. He's 32 years old, just over $350,000 in career earnings.
Well, he also just decided to bet a bunch.
Yeah, he sure did. I knew we were going to work that in. Raises to $67,000. Now it's folded over to Paul McCaffrey.
Oh, he's defending his big blind. You know, your starting hands vary depending on what position you're in.
A lot of money up for grabs tonight here on the HPT. The flop is 9-5 tray, couple of spades.
Really a lot of air here. Neither player caught the flop at all.
And both players checking that flop, so we go to the turn now.
No continuation bet. Interesting choice there.
Turn card is the 7 of clubs. Paul's looking like he's reaching for chips now. It's the only thing he really can do here is bet.
I think if I'm leading from the big blind in that spot, if I've made that call begin with, I lead right there, especially now that John's shown some weakness.
$80,000 is the bet. John is going to make the call here.
And I don't mind that call. It's got overcards minimum.
And we go to the river. It's the 5 of clubs.
Technically a blank, but since Paul's already led it on the turn, this is a good continuation bet. Good spot to bluff the river, and that's a tough spot for John Bunch.
And Paul does just that. He bets $125,000. This is going to be very hard for John to make the call. Of course, we can see the cards, but this would be an amazing call if he looked him up here for $125,000, but he does not. So the winner of the hand is that man right there.
Oh, the field is stacked. I looked them up, I researched them all last night, obviously. And of course, I knew who Daniel was yesterday, who just made a WSOP final table. And Ryan has made a WSOP bracelet final table too. So there's plenty of experience here, but it's really deep. The Strata, it's really tough table today.
Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by professional poker player Robert Williamson III. And for folks who don't know about the great Robert Williamson III, give us your bio real quick. And by the way, how did you get in here anyway?
I snuck in the back door, just like I did when I was a kid going to the casinos.
Looking at the chip counts, Paul McCaffrey leading the bunch here at 3.4. Down there on the bottom, don't count him out, Dan Sindelar. This guy's a good poker player. Have you ever played against him, Robert?
I have played against Dan in some major tournaments. Solid player. Definitely got a good tournament record.
Right now, your min cash. Our next player eliminated will go home with $17,244. Action will start with that man right there in the 9 seat. Joey Brown. He's going to raise it up to $67,000 with pocket jacks.
Oh, he raised under the gun. That's usually a sign of strength.
And pocket jacks. A lot of people look at jacks like, all right, I have to raise here, but statistically, historically, they can get you into a little bit of trouble.
Wow, Ryan LaPlante decides just the flat here. I don't know. I like the 3-bet in that spot with the position on an opening raiser.
Now it is folded over to that man, Paul McCaffrey. He's going to fold, as does Dan Sindelar. Now over to Ryan. Looks down at a suited-up 9-deuce.
Well, that's the Montana Banana. Wait a minute. He's not playing a name hand.
It's good if you're playing blackjack, but whenever I double that thing down, I usually get the ace of diamonds. So we go to the flop, a little cat and mouse here, and the flop is ace 5-4. So Ryan outflops Joey.
Yeah, Joseph's in a tough spot. He's probably going to have to lead here and test the waters.
So Joey's going to bet $51,000.
A continuation bet. That's very normal in that spot. And he does have a pair. It's not like he's just bluffing at this pot. If Ryan doesn't have an overpair, he might lay this down.
And again, Ryan just makes the call here. The turn card is the deuce of hearts. Joey slows down. Now Ryan's going to take control of this hand. He's reaching for chips, and he's going to bet $138,000. This will probably be a little easier for Joey to get rid of now. And Joey is going to do that. He's going to fold. The winner of the hand is Ryan, a pot of just over 450,000 chips. All right, the action continues here from the Stratosphere Casino Hotel and Tower right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The craziest thing, Robert, I did while I was out here, you may not believe me, but I jumped off the roof of this beautiful building here.
No, you did not.
I jumped off the roof. Yeah.
Wow. I rode the big shot, that ride, but I never jumped off anything that's not broken.
We'll talk more about that later, but I am here to talk about it, so that makes me happy. Action has been folded around to the man with the big white cap, Ryan Tosick.
And once again, when you got the button, those hand strengths definitely increase because the button's powerful and nobody's entered the pot yet. Got a good chance you might just still the blinds right here.
And the raise by Ryan is up to 105,000 chips. Now we go over to John Bunch in seat number 1.
And a king 10 of hearts is definitely a very defendable big blind hand.
It's one of those hands, too, that just kind of looks nice. You look down, you see the king, you see the 10, you see the hearts, and the flop comes 5-4 right? Yeah. That's what normally happens with me.
All black.
Right, yeah. And John is going to check over now to Ryan.
Oh, Ryan actually hit his hand and still didn't bet. Wow.
Yeah, he did hit his hand. I forgot he's playing 9-4. Turn card now, the 10 of clubs, so a little light there at the end of the tunnel for John.
Yeah, if Ryan bets a continuation bet, this whole mess doesn't start. Now, he's probably got to pay this bet off by John.
The bet is $130,000. John's just got one bullet invested. He's from Tallahassee, Florida.
This is a tough spot for Ryan because he didn't continuation bet on the flop. He doesn't really know where he's at now. He has to call.
He does make the call. Pot size of over 500,000 chips. And we go to the river card. It's the tray of diamonds. So the board pairs, both players with 2 pair.
Well, this is a great spot for John Bunch to value bet here. Half a pot, something like that.
So you think John thinks his hand's good here?
I think he has to think his hand's good here. The 3 of diamonds looks like a hold'em card to me. That's pretty good with that board being so coordinated. That's a good card for John Bunch's hand.
And he is reaching for chips. Couple of stacks, it looks like.
And I like the bet sizing. Very nice bet sizing. Slightly under half the pot. That puts Ryan in a really tough position here.
Ryan kind of leans back in his chair, and it's going to be tough for him to make this call.
Well, this is one of those fill situations. You just sometimes have to feel it out. If you think he might be bluffing in this spot, you got to pay this off. It's terrible. I hate it, but I think the mistake he made was not continuation betting on the flop.
Absolutely. He does make the call. John flips over his hand, and Ryan, he kind of smiles a little bit, but he did get some information. He's hoping he got some information. And
he's hoping he's got something out of that because he darn sure didn't drag the pot.
Absolutely. The winner of that hand in the 1 seat, 32-year-old John Bunch, adding to his chip stack. The action continues. Blinds 20,000, 40,000 with a 5K ante.
Well, a lot of dead money in there already. 100,000 in that pot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Up top, just over 150,000. But I'd settle for second place money, Robert. $92,605. What's that like? I've got to ask you. I've never won 6 figures playing poker. What's the first thing you do? You go buy a drink? Do you buy your friends drinks? Do you take the money to the bank? What do you do?
I always go out for a nice dinner, but I am kind of motivated by food.
You're a foodie. You've told me you're a foodie.
I am a foodie.
Is foodie in the dictionary? All right, well, let's get back to poker. We're getting sidetracked here. Ryan's going to raise with his pocket nines, and Joey makes the call. The raise was to 105,000, so everybody folds. Look right there in the window. Yeah, the flop is 10-9-4, but the most important thing, that window card, the 9 of clubs. That's why I like starting with pocket nines.
But not a bad flop for Joseph either. 2 overcards and a gutter ball straight draw. It's a pretty good flop for Joseph. Not the best in the world, but not too bad either.
So with Ryan set, he's going to bet 110,000. What do you think of that bet size?
I like that size. It's about a third of the pot, so just enough to get him in there.
Is there a better feeling than flopping a set? Isn't it? It's just an awesome feeling, especially when you see it right there in the window. It's like, come on, give me quads.
But then again, if I'm Joseph, 2 overcards and a straight draw, I got to like my hand. And look, now he catches part of that.
Boy.
That's
Queen
a dangerous
of clubs.
card for him.
This could spell disaster for Joey. Action is on Ryan. 2 clubs now on the board, so he might have to think about a sizable bet here. What would you like to see out of Ryan?
I'd bet half to 2/3 of the pot because there's 3 to a straight, 2 to a flush. Don't want to bet too little. He bet a little less than I would have, but he was looking for a call, obviously.
235,000 chips. That's the bet by Ryan. Joey improves with that queen of clubs on the turn. Boy, does he re-raise here? Does he just flat him?
I think just because I've got position on Ryan, I'm just going to flatten this spot.
See, I'm a bad poker player. I probably raised there. That's why I'm in the booth, and I'm not out there with these superstars playing for this life-changing cash. I'm going to use the word life-changing a lot because it truly is life-changing, because $150,000, I could buy a nice little house with that. 7 of clubs comes on the river. Will this slow Ryan down at all, seeing that third club?
Absolutely. I mean, the board's pretty coordinated. 3 clubs
Sure
out
is.
there now. Two or three different straights out there now. He's going to go all in. Wow.
Surprised at that. An all-in bet.
I might have just checked there hoping to get Joseph to lead. Now this is a tough spot because Ryan has bet $630,000.
And he is going to lay it down. The winner of the hand is going to be Ryan Tosick, a pot of 1.6 million chips. So with that, Ryan adds to his chip stack, and when we come back, we'll have more exciting final table action. Don't go too far. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson, joined by Robert Williamson III. You've got 3 names. Is that like some kind of a Texas thing?
Oh, everything's a little bigger in Texas.
That's what they say anyway. We go to the chip counts. Paul McCaffrey leading the group. Joey Brown right behind him. But Dan Sindelar down there at the bottom. Now, he's on pretty much a free roll because he just wrapped up the November 9, finished 7th place, cash for $1.2 million.
I think that him being at this final table, I would call this a heater. He's on a little bit of a heater right now.
Yeah, you think so? I mean, we're playing for a lot of money here, but he literally just took $1.2 million to the bank.
Just happy to be back at another final table. I know it was just a week ago where, I was fortunate enough to fade those 7,000 people. So it's the money's not quite the same, but it's I love the game of poker, love playing it, so it's just fun being back at another final table.
And the action is on that man right there. Dan Sindelar looks on at King Jack, and he is going to shove all in. A good position for him here. He's suited up. He's low on chips. He's got to make a move.
And I don't mind that at all. A lot of times you get a better hand to fold behind you. But you might not get that hand to fold. 2 queens. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah, danger is right. I call it the buzzsaw. He ran himself right into it. Pocket queens by Joey in the 9 seat. It's folded around now. Over to Gary in the 5 seat. Gary's going to fold, so we go heads up, and Dan just kind of smiles a little bit. I'd be smiling, too, if I just won $1.2 million here in the month of November.
Boy, he's still got an overcard to the pair, so he's only 2-1 dog.
Flop is 8-5 tray, only 1 spade for Dan, and no king and no jack.
Not a friendly flop for Dan.
Joey very happy with that 8-5 tray rainbow. Turn card now is the 4 of clubs, so
only a king will get him out of this trap.
Yeah, even I can do this math. 3 cards will help Dan, otherwise he's going to be eliminated, and the board's going to pair the 4 of diamonds, so that's going to do it. He's going to go out with just over $17,000. Chump change for this November Niner.
I was going to say, it's hard to feel sorry for the guy. He just won $1.2 million.
Yeah, this will probably...
the other kids win some money.
This will help his bill to the IRS after winning that 1.2, or maybe put gas in his car. But congratulations to Dan Sindelar. It was a pleasure to have him here in Las Vegas at the Stratosphere Casino, Hotel, and Tower. Action to Ryan. He's going to raise it up to $105,000.
King deuce offsuit. That's a pretty aggressive raise under the gun.
It's folded around now to Ryan LaPlante.
It looks like we might have got a re-raise.
That's a 3-bet to $265,000 with a real hand, the ace queen.
And I like that because he's in position and he's putting maximum amount of pressure on Ryan.
And now over to Peter.
Wow. A little bit of a tight fold, but you know what? It's already been 3-bet. What do you do there? You can't flat. You have to 4-bet. Now you're risking your whole stack. Don't mind him folding those 2 sevens.
Action over to Ryan Tosick. Now he's going to re-raise to $465,000.
Oh, man. Ryan's first mistake was opening that pot up with that hand.
No, you're exactly right. And now he's folding. Wow.
That's the problem when you run into ace queen or ace king, and that's easier for Ryan to play that hand in position. And he won a big pot because of it.
Blinds are 20,000, 40,000 with a 5K ante. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, here at the Stratosphere Casino, Hotel, and Tower.
2 5s, that's a legitimate hand to open this pot up.
The Sammy Hagar pocket 5s. What is the speed limit now? It's like 75.
I was going to say, yeah, it's usually 55 forever.
Maybe he should rewrite the song. Action on Paul McCaffrey now. He's going to make the call with a suited up King 10.
A very defendable small blind call.
Heads up to the flop we go, and it comes out Jack 8-4. It's a rainbow.
It's a tough spot for John Bunch. Can't hardly lead into 2 overcards on this flop.
And boy, when you got a small pair like that, 5s and lords, if you don't hit anything on the flop, you're just left with a pair of 5s.
Well, I guess he didn't follow my advice. I didn't think this was a spot he'd want a continuation bet.
Little semi-bluff there, maybe?
Yeah, I like Paul's float here. He's floating him, hoping that John will shut down on this turn card.
Boy, I'm learning a little bit about poker sitting next to you. I like this, Robert. I like it a lot. Turn card is the deuce of clubs. Action, once again, starts with Paul, and he checks.
You know, once I floated the flop, I might have gone ahead and led there. Now he's got to fold. There's too many possibilities. His hands cannot be good in this spot.
John bets 165,000 chips over to Paul. And he's going to fold. And I got to say, John played those pocket 5s to perfection, my friend. John Bunch accumulating even more chips here at this nationally televised HPT final table. And when we come back, we'll have more exciting final table action. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson alongside my broadcast partner and personal life coach, the one, the only, Robert Williamson III. And before we get down to the action, what was your favorite part of Vegas this week?
Oh, man, I can't remember how many great meals we had, and that little run on the dice table didn't hurt anything, because we had somebody to pay for those meals.
Chip count looks like this. Paul McCaffrey up top. Right behind him, though, Joey and John. And at the bottom, Gary Bolden. But you can't count Gary out. You can't count any of these players out because a lot of money on the line here, Robert.
Oh, the blinds are big enough, too. Anybody can make a recovery anytime. One double up away.
Absolutely. Blinds are 25,000, 50,000 with a 5K ante. Folded around to Joey Brown. Looks down at 8 deuce. Another great blackjack hand. Love doubling that.
So much in hold'em.
Not so much in hold'em. I typically double that and get either a 2 or a 3. That's how I run at the blackjack. It's been a good week, though, out here in Vegas. I'm up for once. For once.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Action over to Peter now. Haven't seen a whole lot out of Peter tonight.
I'm Peter Nye. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm a professional poker player. Try to play as best as I can and take it hand for hand, stay in the moment, and do what I can.
And I don't blame Peter. I might have shoved there with queen high as well, but unfortunately he ran into a bigger queen with Gary turning over king queen.
Need a 7.
Peter with queen 7, Gary with a suited up king queen, and Gary, this is his tournament life. He stands up, says hello to his rail. And the flop, wow, look at that. Bingo bango.
Great flop for Gary.
2 aces and a
He
queen.
can only lose now to a 7-7 runner.
Wow. Gary's smiling. He doesn't want to leave yet. He's playing on national television. He's having a little fun. 4 of hearts will help him there on the turn.
Well, the only chance of Peter getting even half of his money back is an ace or a queen here.
So Gary looking to double up a pot of 815,000 chips. River card, the tray of diamonds. So he's going to sit down. It's always fun when you stand up in an all-in situation.
Only
and then
when you get to sit back down,
when you get to sit back down.
That's right.
When you're grabbing your coat and heading to the cashier, it's not so much fun. But that man right there, Gary, doubling up. And the action continues here as it's folded over to Joey in the 9 seat. Looks down at 8-4. John now in the 1 seat. He's going to fold. Folding now all the way to the button.
It's always disappointing when you see that first king and you're waiting to see, what's the deuce doing with this
and
king?
Of all cards, yeah, it's the deuce. So an all-in raise now by Peter on the button with that king deuce. Over to Gary now.
Now that he's weakened his stack, could be trouble here. Gary's got a very playable hand in that spot. Because now Gary's got Peter covered.
He's going to make the call. So the call's been made. Heads up we go. Gary in the lead with his ace-8 going up against Peter's king-deuce.
Well, Gary's got his money in good both times.
And the flop is ace-9, a couple of clubs.
And now Peter can only hope for a runner or else his tournament life is over.
Turn card 7 of spades. And that's going to do it right there. The meaningless river card now, 10 of spades. The winner of the hand is Gary. Peter has been eliminated. I think he's a little shocked, but the good news is he's going home with just over $21,000 in cash.
Always helps you console me.
Absolutely. Nobody ever wants to leave a tournament, but hey, it's like, I'm gone, but I just won $21,000. Action continues here. Stratosphere, Las Vegas, Nevada, folded around to Paul McCaffrey. Haven't seen a whole lot about Paul tonight.
Well, Big Slicksworth getting in there and
absolutely
wrestling around.
Raised to $100,000. Brian Tosick folds over to Joey Brown in the 9th seat. Joey's a poker dealer. When he's not playing poker, he's dealing poker. And now over to the 1 seat of John Bunch. Looks down at his suited up ace-10. So it's ace-king against ace-10. And the flop. Wow, look at this. 2 10s and a 7.
What a beautiful flop for John Bunch.
Got to check this, don't you?
Absolutely. All trappers don't wear fur.
Both players check. Wow, 2 10s and a 7. We go to the turn now.
That's a pretty strong check from behind from Paul. I probably would have gone ahead and bet. I'd have lost some money there.
Right. Tray of clubs comes on the turn. Now John's thinking, all right, it's about time to get some chips out here in the middle. And he does just that. $135,000.
Oh, even worse, a nice little baby bet. It's going to be hard for Paul not to at least see this river card.
And he does make the call. His hand playing out exactly the way John Bunch wants it to. How about an ace here on the river?
Well, even a 3, actually.
Sure.
John may get paid off now because Paul also has an ace kicker with 10s and 3s.
Tray of spades comes on the end, $455,000, but Paul is not going to look him up. He's going to lay it down.
That's a great laydown by
sure
Paul.
is.
I think I might have paid that bet off myself.
It sure is. It's anybody's game, and we'll continue the action when we come back. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT, Las Vegas, Nevada, Stratosphere Casino, Hotel and Tower. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III. There's your chip counts up top. Paul McCaffrey with 3.1. Robert, who do you think is going to take this thing down?
I'm not going to lie to you. I like the guy that's sitting in the middle of the pack, John Bunch. He's been playing great so far tonight.
Joey Brown is my pick. He's finished second before at our Michigan event. I think this is his tournament to win. He looks down at 9-7. He's going to fold that, but I like Joey's chances. He's an experienced player. When he's not here playing poker, he's dealing poker, so he sees a lot of hands, and I just think he's got the right attitude to take this thing down, but it's poker, so anything's possible.
And an opening raise here on the button from Ryan.
Raises up to $100,000 with King Queen. We've seen a lot of King Queens tonight. Gary's going to make the call with Ace 4. With that, 2 players. Paul folds, so we're heads up now to the flop. Ryan and Gary. Gary's made a little resurgence here. Ace 5 deuce is the flop.
Great flop for Gary's hand. If Gary checks here, I'm probably going to c-bet if I'm Ryan. Ryan doesn't. He's smarter than I am. That's very good for him.
Both players checking. 8 of spades now.
Yeah, I think here, though, Gary's got a bet. Checks again. I think he's check trapping, though. I don't think he's checking because he's afraid.
Yeah.
I think he knows he has the best hand right now, or a great chance that he does.
Ryan's not afraid to get chips in the middle with any hand. We saw that earlier. And there you go. So a check, bet, raise, just like that. Action back to Ryan. Let's see if he can lay it.
And look at this float. Wow.
Wow. He makes the call. He's going to try to outplay
set up a bluff on the river.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing he can be trying to do.
And we've seen him do this before. I give a lot of credit. Maybe I'm going to change my winner to that guy right there, to Ryan.
Takes a lot of heart.
River card now, the Jack of Hearts.
And no help for either player, but I'll tell you what, if I'm Gary, I might bet a defensive bet here. Try to put something out there that makes it a little tougher decision for Ryan LaPlante.
Gary's stacking chips.
some people might call this a value bet that Gary's making, but I really feel like it's more of a defensive bet. He can't call a really big bet, but he can bet out.
270,000, that's the bet. And Ryan's going to lay it down, so the winner of the hand is going to be Gary.
And Gary played that hand very well. I like every street of how he played that hand.
And look at all those chips Gary has now. This guy's really on a rush.
He's on a heater.
All right, the action continues. Blinds are 25,000, 50,000 with a 5K ante. Action on Ryan LaPlante.
And he's opening the pot up for the raise. Okay, ace king, I don't blame him with big slick.
As he should with ace king. Now over to Gary.
An insta call.
So Gary with a suited 8-5, is he just kind of playing his rush here?
He's playing the heater, but he's also got position.
Now over to the button.
And he showed ace-jack of clubs. This is a dangerous spot for him, but he still has to see the flop. Sometimes with the button, I might actually go ahead and raise here.
And he's going to make the call. Ryan folds. Now over to Joey in the 9s. He looks down at 9-4. He'll quickly get out of the way. So 3 players now going to the flop. And the flop is ace, 6, deuce, couple of spades.
Wow, this could be an expensive hand for Paul McCaffrey.
It sure could. We start with Ryan. He's reaching for chips, and he is going to make a bet of 130,000.
Well, I don't think Gary can do anything here except fold.
I think Gary can say, all right, things have been going well, but we're going to get out of the way and let these two hammer it out. Over to Paul now. Like you said, it's going to be hard for him to get away from this.
Yeah, I don't know. He's reaching for raising chips.
Yeah. This could be a disaster. The raise to 300,000. Ryan loves every minute of it.
Well, they're both sitting so deep right now. This is 2 of the biggest stacks at the table. If I'm Paul, I'm going to play this hand a little cautious. I think Ryan took my advice that I was trying to give to Paul.
I think so. A pot of over 1 million chips. Now we go to the turn. It's another spade, this time the 10 of spades.
Now Ryan's really got to love his hand. And that gives him a flush draw to go with the top pair.
He checks over to Paul.
Wow, Paul's probably going to value bet this. Feels like his hand's still good.
520,000.
I think I'm making like tightest fold of my life.
Wow, look at this.
If I'm Ryan, I go all in here, and he's fixing to fold.
He's folding the hand.
Gosh. I can't believe what I just saw.
He's got 2 kings. We all know he's got 2 kings.
2 kings. No, I'd like the virtual nuts.
What just happened there?
I'm still.
I know. I'm
No, much better than mine.
amazed. Now these guys know more about poker than I do, but I'm a little surprised at that fold. But again, when you've got the 2 big stacks, it's a scary tightrope that you're walking down.
It is.
Wow.
We've got an all-in right here from Ryan Tosick.
All in with his queen 9. Folded around to Ryan.
Well, he only had 10 big blinds. This is a classic situation. But he's dominated. Ryan LaPlante's dominating the other Ryan Tosick.
Ace-9 going up against Queen-9. The flop is 2 4s and a deuce, not to mention 2 clubs.
Turn a 4.
That's a great flop for Ryan LaPlante. Ryan Tosick in a lot of trouble here. He's going to need a queen of hearts or queen of spades to stay alive. Wow!
Look at that.
Just like that.
Look at that, the queen of spades.
Oh, no. Ryan Tosick just went into the lead.
And I'm going to make a prediction, Robert. Ryan's going to win this hand.
That's a pretty safe bet.
Ryan's going to win this hand. Guarantee it. How much you got? I'll bet whatever you got.
Oh, sounds like a loaded question.
Oh, the river card, though, the ace of spades.
Wow! So Ryan retakes the lead. Ryan LaPlante.
What a seesaw battle that was. And like I predicted, Ryan won the hand. I told you he would.
It was Ryan Tosick versus Ryan LaPlante. Of course, Ryan's going to win the pot, but I'll tell you what. First a 2-outer on the turn, and then a 12-outer on the river. Whew. What an exciting hand.
When we come back, 5 players remain at this nationally televised final table. Don't go too far. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III coming to you from the Stratosphere Casino Hotel and Tower right here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada.
If this is anybody's match, I mean, look, the chip stacks aren't that big of a difference here.
They're all bunched up.
No pun intended.
Yeah, John Bunch.
John
right
Bunch. I got it.
Yeah, you're catching on. Yeah. Action continues. Blinds 25,000, 50,000 with a 5K ante. 5 players remain. How does the strategy change now? We started with 9. Now we have 5.
Well, hand strings obviously improve drastically. Like in this spot.
Like that hand.
King Jack from John Bunch. 9-handed, middle of the road hand. 5-handed, that's a big hand.
Absolutely. John's going to raise to 120,000 with his King Jack. Fold it over to Gary now. He's going to make the call with a little better hand. Ace 10.
I don't blame him at all. I like both sides of this action so far. A little bit of a loose call there by Paul McCaffrey.
Paul McCaffrey, no stranger to the HPT. He finished 16th place at our event in Thunder Valley over there in Sacramento, California. The flop is Jack, 4 deuce, couple of hearts.
And this is a really good flop for John Bunch, the opening raiser. Definitely going to lead at this pot.
And John's going to bet 170,000 chips over to Gary.
Now, Paul did catch a piece of this flop. He's got middle pair.
Yeah, he caught a 4.
Yeah, well, I guess middle pair, when it's the 4, it's still middle pair.
And a raise to $500,000.
If I'm John Bunch right here, I'm going to go all in, and he does re-raise.
He's going to re-raise to 1.4.
All in.
And all in by Paul.
No way!
His hand can't be good in that spot.
Oh my gosh! He couldn't let it go.
Paul McCaffrey made a big blunder in this hand.
Wow!
All the way from before the flop, calling with a queen 4, he got himself in this spot.
And you know, you talk about that, calling with a hand you shouldn't, and then you get yourself into trouble. It's the Jack of clubs now on the turn.
And that means Paul McCaffrey's drawing dead.
And then the 10 of clubs. Wow, this one's going to sting a little bit. The winner of the hand, John Bunch, a pot of over 5 million chips.
Well played by John Bunch. Definite major mistake from Paul McCaffrey.
It's easy for us to sit here and watch the monitors and see, and we've all been there. But I think
I've been on
after
both sides of these tables,
I think after the second re-raise, maybe you decide.
you had to figure his hand couldn't be good.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to let him bully me.
I know.
And instead, he let him get a double up.
Yeah, unfortunately. But John Bunch rolling here at this nationally televised HPT final table. Looks down at ace 8, and he's going to raise to 115,000.
Well, especially since John's had the hammer, he's got to keep hammering on him.
Most people would.
But I kind of feel bad for Paul a little bit. It just
Got a lot of heart.
Sometimes you make a blunder.
A lot of
that
heart.
was the bad mistake, and now he's being punished for it.
So you're a pro player. How do you recover from that? How do you shake it off?
Sometimes I have to actually stand up, physically walk away from the table.
Maybe put a little Tabasco in your drink.
Hey, Tabasco's good on everything. It always
more
gets my
about
mind
it.
right.
And the flop is ace 10 deuce. It's a rainbow.
Both players caught a piece, but unfortunately, Joseph caught the bottom piece of this flop.
We all have hearts.
Joey checks over to John.
We battle.
It's a bet of 110,000.
We battle, and that's for sure.
Well, this is the problem with calling that pre-flop bet. Once again, Joey got himself in trouble by calling with the king deuce to begin with.
Turn card now, another diamond, this time the 5 of diamonds.
Now the trap is really set because Joseph's got outs no matter what, unless he's against the ace-high flush draw.
Joey checks. John not slowing down. He's going to bet 215,000.
That's a great value bet in that spot. And I don't blame Joseph now.
I don't either.
You got to try to catch a deuce or a diamond to win this one.
Absolutely.
Or a king, too, for that matter.
River card right there. The tray of diamonds. Joey loves this. This time he's reaching for some chips.
This is a really tough spot for John Bunch. I think with 4 to a straight and 3 to a flush, though, I think I could probably get away from this. But he didn't bet that much, 490. I'm in the tank right now if I'm John Bunch. This is a tough spot. Tough spot.
And John's got to ask himself, is he just bluffing on the flush here? Or does he really have it? And he's going to find out as he looks him up. Joey flips over the king deuce, makes it on the river, and he's going to win that pot just under 2 million chips.
And a great value bet there on the river by Joey.
Joey's my prediction to take this thing down. We talked about it earlier in the program. He's been to a final table before, and he finished second place, November 2011 in Michigan. So he wants to win this thing. It's folded over to Paul. He's going to go all in with his ace-4.
Big all in. He's still at 20-something big blinds.
Is he still steaming from that hand?
He might be.
And he's looked up by John, as he should be, with ace-10.
And he's dominated.
Ace 10 to hold up.
This is not the hand you want to be up against.
Boy, and this is not the way you want to go out of a tournament either. 8-7-5 rainbow flop.
He does flop a gutter ball straight
9
draw.
ball.
6 will get him out of the trap here.
Well, doesn't look real. He doesn't look real happy.
I think he's more disappointed in his play. That's not a bad card at all for Paul's hand, because now if he catches an 8 or 7, he can chop half this pot and escape this.
River card, no help. It's the 9 of diamonds.
Bet he wish he had a do-over, a mulligan, just like in golf.
He's going to exit stage left, but the good news, he's going home with just over 31,000. He improved as he finished 16th at Thunder Valley, this time 5th place. He's got to be happy with the cash, and who knows, maybe next time he'll win it all. We'll be right back with more exciting final table action. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson and Robert Williamson III coming to you from Las Vegas here at the Stratosphere Casino, Hotel and Tower. Your final 4 players remaining here at this final table.
And both of the players we predicted, John Bunch and Joey Brown, at the top of the pack.
Absolutely, but right behind him, Ryan LaPlante and Gary Bolden. Right now, by the way, the min cash just over $42,000, but up top, the titles and $150,081.
Now the blinds have gone up to 30, 60, and $10,000 ante. That's even more important. Now there's a lot of dead money in the pot, four-handed. Going to see some fireworks soon. I got a feeling.
Action to the poker player / poker dealer. Joey going to raise it to $135,000 with Jack 10. John, originally from Tallahassee, Florida. He works for Zappos. You familiar with Zappos?
I am. They own half of Las Vegas out
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Started with shoes, and now they own everything.
Yeah, they do a little bit of everything, you're right. John makes the call with King 9.
And only $75,000 more for him to call. And I don't blame him. Queen 4, a little liberal of his calling range, but...
it is suited, right?
It is suited.
Ace, Jack 4, Rainbow.
And this is the problem with calling with that Queen 4. Now he caught a little piece of this flop. Joey caught a bigger piece of this flop.
And we did see this earlier in the show where somebody makes a questionable call in the big blind and then they catch a piece of it and end up losing chips because of it.
I guess John's decided to float him here.
Ryan gets out of the way. So the turn card now, the 4 of diamonds. Remember, Ryan, who's not in the hand anymore, had Queen 4. He would have made trips.
Oh, he's got to be hating himself right now.
John checks and Joey checks. Both players checking. We go to the river now, and the river card's the 8 of diamonds.
John set this hand up to bluff, but I think I would have fired on the turn. I don't think I would have waited here. His story doesn't make sense. But he's betting a big enough bet, he might get Joseph to lay this down.
The bet is $320,000. Over to Joey. Playing four-handed here. Las Vegas, Nevada, Stratosphere Casino, Hotel and Tower. And Joey's going to fold.
And John Bunch outplayed him, simply put.
John has impressed me all night here at this final table. My winner, or the person I think that's going to win, is still the guy in the 9 seat, Joey. But that guy is going to have to get through him as well as the other 2 players at the table. It's anybody's game, but up top, just over $150,000. I asked you earlier, what's that like to win 6 figures playing the game of poker?
Complete exuberance, because you're doing something you love. You do it for free. But boy, 150,000 extra reasons to win. That makes it even better.
Absolutely. John's going to raise to $130,000 with King 7. Action on Ryan. His fiance Christopher is in the crowd watching him. Congratulations. Those 2 will be getting married this year.
And Gary's reaching for even more chips.
Wow. Couple of silos, couple of stratospheres there he puts out. The raise is to $400,000.
Look what his hand is. He's got Jack 7 off.
Wow. He's mixing it up a little bit, which you have to do four-handed.
Well, he got the original razor out, but unfortunately he might get looked up by Ryan LaPlante here. King, Queen off. This is an iffy situation because Ryan could be very much behind.
That's a raise.
I was dead wrong. Ryan LaPlante showing some real courage here.
Now, we talked about how great a feeling it is to flop a set. It's the opposite when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. It's just like, oh, rats.
It ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun.
And now I just got to fold my hand, and it's just no fun. All right, Gary tries to get a little tricky with the 3-bet there, but has to release the hand on the end, and sometimes that happens.
I'll tell you what, when you try the squeeze play, sometimes the squeezer becomes the squeezee.
That's why he makes the big bucks, folks. It's for lines just like that. So that's all the time we have on tonight's program, but we saw some great poker right here from the Stratosphere.
We sure did, and $150,000 still up for grabs, and the next guy out still going to get guaranteed $42K.
Now, we will conclude that next week, so make sure to tune into the HPT so you can find out who the new champion is going to be. Now, before we go, I got to remind everybody, if you think you have what it takes to sit right here, well, not here on the desk, but on the felt, at the table, why not give it a shot? Visit our webpage at www.hptpoker.com. Give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe you'll be going home with the life-changing cash. I could use $150,000.
Who couldn't use $150,000?
Maybe I'll play the next one. We could find a replacement for me, and they can hang out with this guy right here. So that's our show for tonight. Thanks for watching the HPT. For Robert Williamson III, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time on the HPT.